is something that is being worked upon at the national level, the legal framework. Punjab, of course, as we all know, and you've been hearing for last few days, is, of course, no exception when it comes to climate resilience and climate vulnerabilities. Most urbanized, fastest urbanized province, and also the cities in Punjab, 130 million population, and the divide, of course, is 37% urban and 63% semi-rural, semi-urban and rural population in Punjab. And when it comes to water shortages, when it comes to intense climate vulnerabilities, biodiversity, climate resilience, as I said, Punjab is no exception. So I'll briefly narrate what we've been doing after assuming office in last 10 months under the dynamic leadership of the Chief Minister, Maryam Nawaz, who's leading the climate resilience vision in Punjab and across Punjab. Climate change, as we all know, is not a very, cannot be seen in silo or in isolation with bordering provinces, with bordering cities, with the bordering region, with the bordering countries, neighbors. It is integrated, it is comprehensive, it is, something that we all need to work together if we want to change the course, and also has an impact on humanity, I would say, touching each and everyone's life across the ecosystem. So after assuming office, first of all, the development planning of Punjab province has seen transition and a paradigm shift when it comes to climate resilience policies and urban planning. And to begin with, the Chief Minister Punjab has for the first time introduced solid waste management in urban and rural cities across Punjab. It was previously present in only 2 cities in Punjab, but now, alhamdulillah, in our last 11 months, every city, every district, every division has now a complete end-to-end solid waste management framework for, looking at the urban solid waste management planning. So that's something, it's a flagship project of the Chief Minister, and we all know that Sustainable Development Goals has a lot of integration with solid waste management and associated health impacts, air quality impacts also. Then in the climate lens, I would say that for the first time, the development planning has been seen from very integrated approach, cross-sectoral approach, multi-sectoral approach that we say. It's said, it's easier said than done, because we all know that we all say across the globe that it should be integrated, it should be inclusive, it should be, trickle down to the local level, to the union council level, to the local government level. But when it comes to real implementation, it is always a challenge, because the sectors talking to each other is a challenge. The sectors communicating to each other is a challenge. And when it comes to policy making for a multi-sectoral subject like climate change, first of all, it is a challenge, but then taking this challenge head on in last 10 months at the Planning and Development Ministry department, we now have a project management unit where all the sectors sit together, they plan together, they allocate resources together, so that we know that, if you're investing into green technologies, if we're investing into climate resilient cities, urban planning, we all have to do this evidence-based decision making together. So that's a complete paradigm shift in our development planning this year, and we've seen results already. When it comes to the adaptation and mitigation of the climate resilient policies, of course, it's also head-on urban planning, rural planning, infrastructure planning, green technology planning. Mass transit also is going through a complete transition from traditional petrol vehicles to electric vehicles, and we've seen already the electric buses have started arriving in Punjab, in Lahore for the first time. So sectoral-wise in industries, a complete mapping of the industry was done initially. So we divided this 1 year when we assumed office into 3 phases: short-term, medium-term, and long-term. Short-term was mostly legislative changes, amendments, hand-holding, stakeholder engagement, citizens engagement, awareness raising when it comes to climate change. And also we are going through Punjab and Pakistan, and the cities in the region are going through air quality crisis at the moment. And Lahore, of course, as we see, is the center stage. But this year, in last 5 months, we've seen peaks in other cities of the provinces also. And in the region as well, we've seen peaks, unprecedented peaks this year. So the first 3 months was to create an enabling environment to work together, all the sectors together, for coming together to do this climate resilience planning. So lots of legislative and institutional changes and amendments were done. Environmental Protection Agency, my Director General of EPA is sitting with you in the audience, who's worked really hard in complete overhauling institutional framework amendments. We've changed the Punjab Environmental Act after 1997 to include lots of legislative reforms when it comes to air quality standards and regulations, surveillance, and of course then the impact of the air quality. So this was Environmental Protection Agency. For the first time in EPA, we have a multi-sectoral desks now: industry, agriculture, transport, health, education, and this is now housed in Environmental Protection Agency. So we see it from a completely multi-sectoral lens when it comes to planning and development and also environmental protection. Industry, we've mapped a complete industrial landscape of Punjab, and there is a plan to shift the industry. I wish we had graphics on the screen, which we prepared for all of you, because if we can, Father, if we can also start, just the graphics on the screen. So in industry, for the first time, the brick kilns, I can say with conviction that in Lahore division, not a single brick kiln is working other than the zigzag technology. And we've also QR coded the brick kilns, and it is centrally linked to a monitoring system that we have in Environmental Protection Agency. For the first time, intense technology intervention has been taking place in terms of surveillance through drone cameras and safe city cameras, drone for industrial smoke and safe city for vehicular emission. We've introduced that. So in industry, then again, biogas, we have a complete pilot project in Lahore which has been completed, and now the plan is to have one biogas plant in every divisional headquarter across Punjab. Then also environmental control systems on the industrial units are being installed. The government has given 2 billion interest-free loan to the small industries to have these environmental control systems installed at their industrial unit. Lots of pyrolysis plants have been demolished, changed, and compliance has been done to, and we have data and numbers because we were compiling data for the first time in Punjab when it comes to surveillance and monitoring also. There were only 3 monitors, air quality monitors in Punjab. They were installed in 2007. And other than that, we did not have any air quality monitors, so data was just completely absent from the decision making. So we, for the first time, again, under the leadership of the Chief Minister, till December 31st, we have 30 monitors, air quality, both mobile and permanent ones installed, and the target is to have 60 monitors till March 31st. So now Punjab government, for the first time, did a very daring thing that we shared data with the media. We shared data with the stakeholder, with the industry, the sectors, and then did our planning for smog season. The second phase was taking everyone along, both the industry, the sectors, and the departments at the government level. Punjab is going through an intense regulation in zero plastic single use, and the plastic is banned in Punjab, and that's also happened for the first time. Thirdly, in agriculture, the Chief Minister vision, of course, of e-mechanization of the agriculture sector, we are witnessing in terms of technology intervention, but for super seeders, for the first time to curtail and to stop stubble burning across Punjab during 2 seasons, wheat and rice. The Chief Minister gave a very intense subsidy to the local farmers, where we gave 60% the government paid for the super seeder and 40% was paid by the farmer. And we've seen evidence-based that the districts where there was intense stubble burning because of the use of super seeder mechanization, we've seen a reduction in stubble burning across Punjab also. And we do have satellite vision, the graphics to support our claim. Thirdly, in transport, massive transition, complete paradigm shift of the Chief Minister. We are converting Lahore division to completely on electric vehicle hybrid, replacing two-wheelers and three-wheelers through our Punjab Clean Air program, funded by World Bank. And that was the first project again. So complete transition of e-mass transit system across Punjab also. The 27, as I already said, 28 buses have started arriving. They're already in Lahore, and we're converting, inshallah, we'll be doing this in the next 3 to 4 years, complete conversion of Lahore division to electric vehicles. Then industry, of course, we see fugitive dust, because we've seen peaks during the days when the weather conditions were stable, when the weather conditions were suitable, but there were peaks in Lahore and in specific areas. So the evidence showed that, the fugitive dust was the main reason. So when we were in China, in Beijing, with the Chief Minister, and Beijing, of course, as we all know, is a case study around the world, where they've converted 114 bad days, air quality days, to 4 air quality days in 1 year. So that's something that we all need to learn, and we are just, we are the ones who are, learning the practices. The fugitive dust, we saw that around the construction sites, there were water sprinklers of the recycled water. So that's what we did after coming back to Pakistan. And now, alhamdulillah, by the notification of the environmental protection agencies, all the private housing society, private construction sites, also the government construction sites have started having these water sprinklers around the construction sites. Secondly, the Plant for Pakistan green campaign for forestation, and then a complete green ring around Lahore in terms of plantation is being developed in master planning of Lahore. Lahore has a forest cover of about 3% when the international standard is 40%. So we do have a gap of about 37%. So looking at this data and evidence, the green master planning of Lahore is underway, and the plan is ready to be implemented. Then energy sector, a complete drive on conversion of solar energy, the Chief Minister program on giving free solar panels to consumers below the 200 consumption of megawatts, and then finance program 200 and above consumption of megawatts. We're embarking into a journey of biogas plants, as I said, and biorefinery for recycling stubble that we burn into meaningful use. Then lastly, I would say that we are heavily investing into green technology and green infrastructure. All the roads, more than 900 main roads and arteries are being constructed in Lahore at the moment, and every road has now a shoulder bed of trees wherever a new road is built by policy. Every project planning in a development program now has 1% for climate resilience and climate vulnerability of that program by policy. It's part of the policy now. Then, of course, as I said, Punjab is not exception from vulnerable ecosystem, climate-induced disaster. We've seen floods in recent past, and we have now in place, with the help of PDMAs, disaster management authorities, provincial disaster management authorities, complete plan in urban cities to mitigate flood effects, and also adaptation and investing into the technologies and also the infrastructure for flood mitigation. Green industry, I've spoken about, zero waste vision of the Chief Minister of Punjab, I have spoken about in detail. And then everything is related to, because health impact of smog and also of bad air quality, we've seen for the first time in last 5 months, the data from hospitals show that there has been decrease in 11% during 4 months. The patients during the smog season, which is about 98,000 less patients in hospitals during last smog season. And the wind direction, the weather patterns in the region, as I said, it is transboundary, it transcends borders, bad air quality. So it's not just urban cities planning, it also is rural city planning, regional, and it also, of course, is between countries. The impact of India's interventions. We've seen that, during the wind directions towards Pakistan, towards this corridor, we also had peaks of more than 2,000 AQIs level in last 5 months. So we've written letter to the Foreign Office for starting dialogue with India when it comes to climate diplomacy. And, that is something that we are looking forward to, because this is a threat to humanity. This is a threat to our future generation. And climate change is not just a buzzword, which it was in 90s. It is a reality now, and we all need to understand, we all need to be sensitive about it. So lastly, what we did was we engaged the citizens. We engaged the stakeholders. The larger part of our policy was awareness raising amongst the citizens about climate resilience, vulnerabilities, and also this impact of smog and bad air quality on health. Health Ministry department did a spectacular job when it comes to mobile health units, clinic on wheels, the initiative of the Chief Minister again, where the clinics were visiting into districts, into divisions, into union councils during the season. There was emergency declared in hospitals, and also preemptive measures in the last phase when it was smog management and bad air quality management was taking place. So awareness raising, and then we've seen in other countries that this is, of course, policy, administration, regulation, surveillance, monitoring. We all do have that. But unless the behavior changes, unless the mindset changes towards climate vulnerabilities and bad air qualities, no policy can make a difference. So we are integrating that into curriculum, the formal education, the informal education, and skill development into green technologies, into green curriculum, into green infrastructure, and the scholarship program of the Chief Minister, where she's giving scholarships to the first year, second year, third year, and fourth year students across Punjab. Climate change related degrees are part of that scholarship program, so that we do have experts, we do have indigenous expertise, we do have local expertise when it comes to mitigating, adaptation, and management. And also intense awareness raising program has been started with local communities, because replacing two-wheelers is not an easy task in Punjab, especially in Lahore division, and replacing the traditional vehicles, because of course economics comes into play also. And countries like Pakistan, where we struggle, it's a developing country, but if we do have long-term impacts in mind, cost benefit in mind, opportunity cost in mind of these initiatives, I think then we would realize that this is important today, not tomorrow. And thank you very much. I can see lots of multi-sectoral people sitting here in the audience as well. So we all together, the inclusivity is the cornerstone of Chief Minister's programs, initiatives, policies, projects that she undertakes, and equity, of course, is another focus area. So without inclusivity and without equity, climate change vulnerabilities and impacts are also incomplete. So with all the stakeholders, with all the experts, research, academia, media, we have embarked on this journey, and I have a firm belief that with all these interventions, policy frameworks, legislative frameworks and reforms, we will inshallah be the second case study after Beijing in the world. Thank you so much.
मौसमियाती तब्दीली के मौजू पर सीनियर सूबाई वज़ीर